Welcome to the channel, Jaden Chase, and these are some of the top stories making headlines today. Now, it is said that top members of the JDF are upset at statements made by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister made a statement after the recent upsurge in civilian and civil servant confrontations taking place in Denham town. Now, the Prime Minister stated that the government has never given the security forces any powers to abuse citizens. I'm going to hear from the Prime Minister himself, and then we'll continue to reason the nation. Look and listen.
Prime Minister Holness says instructions have been issued to the heads of the Jamaica Defence Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force to ensure that their members respect human rights in communities where zones of special operations (ZOZOs) have been declared. The Prime Minister's comment followed two altercations involving soldiers and residents of Denham town this week.
Having said that, I just want to reinforce that the government of Jamaica will never in any way empower our security forces to abuse our citizens. I want that to be absolutely clear and understood. And I think everyone who wears a uniform and is under oath to serve and protect must understand that directive of the government. We must be serving and protecting our citizens.
Now, the Prime Minister was speaking at the handing over of a social security housing unit in Augusttown, St. Andrew. Indicom has launched a probe into two videos which show soldiers involved in altercations in Denham town. The first incident involves soldiers, a man and a woman. The video, which is circulating on social media, shows the man being detained by soldiers while the woman objects to their actions. Now, a soldier is then seen beating the man with a rifle. The Jamaica Defence Force yesterday said it was investigating the incident. The second video shows a woman who residents claim is pregnant in a confrontation with soldiers. During the incident, a soldier is seen kicking at and using his rifle to brace repeated advances by the woman.
Yes, nation, and now let's continue the reasoning. Now, there has been divide amongst the people. Some people stating that officers, soldiers are just doing their jobs, and that some residents are making it hard for security forces to do their jobs, knowing the situation taking place in the community, and that heavy police or security presence was requested by their councillor, and even some of the same residents residing within the community. But think about it. What they must say is that there's an abuse of power, and that some members of the security forces feel as if abusing the rights of citizens is within their right because they are simply defending themselves. But there is a line, and a line must be drawn somewhere. Based on some of these footage, it passes just defending yourself. As a matter of fact, some of these individuals seem to be defending themselves from words. And that is where people will have an issue. But, and as people have seen, heated conversations can quickly turn to physical altercations. And upon some of the footage that I always say, it got from talking to, within a split second, it turned physical. Now, as I always say, some have stated that the disrespect for the uniform and for the security forces has been intolerable for high-ranking members. But what they mean by intolerable? Think about it. These are frustrated situations, are frustrated residents going through stressful situations. A certain type of policing, if you go on, be careful, remember, yes, it's a troubled community, but I can't all of the residents involved in a criminal activity, and you don't know which one. So a certain type of policing have to be used, and that's why somebody say proper policing is what is needed. If you notice overseas, they have about, we never put a number upon it, but they have numerous different agencies, from the CIA to the FBI to the police department to the DEA, you name it. And even within the police department, you know, you have different task force, because they know policing at the community level will have to be done by officers. And yes, people are going to still have things to say, but that is why it is done by officers who are trained to deal with the population. Soldiers are trained for something else entirely. And maybe that is where the problem arises. Soldiers being trained for war, being stationed around a community where sometimes the situation might seem warlike. But nation, this is quickly becoming a major issue. There's already numerous situations and numerous reports of civilians stating that security force members have been abusing their civil rights. And with these footages now circulating social media, it's hard for them to deny it because people can make what they will from what they must see. And based on the narrative, they must say these are individuals where I stand up for them rights, and then it turned violent. And that is the basic narrative right now. So much so that the Prime Minister found out and addressed the situation, stating that at no point in time has the government given powers to the security forces to treat civilians in any inhumane fashion or form. And as I say, there's some form of line being crossed or blurred as it pertains to defending yourself. Because truth be told, not just overseas, even locally out there in the island, even just touching the uniform of a security force member is considered assault. Now, if I just touch uniform, of course, they're not caring for that because the paperwork and the whole heap of things. But I'm going to show you, or it can quickly lead to something else. Of course, at no point in time you cannot touch the service weapon issued by the government to security force members. So, these simple lines sometimes are blurred. And this is those security force members think that they are within their rights to commit certain actions. Truth be told, it is not so. And they can be prosecuted by the state, lose everything. So as something they need to consider as well. And as I always say, policing within itself is a hard task. And the mindset though of thinking that every resident who would reside within the inner city is a part of the criminal syndicate is not true. Because many members of law enforcement, families are from rural or inner city communities. Or we think take up the jobs of becoming lawmen and women. Are people from rural communities and inner city communities. Yeah, you have some people from affluent backgrounds who join the forces as well. But some of them get big positions. You know what I mean? Some of them work within the administration. So, it's a difference. But people have to consider, say, one, the security forces are there for them. How that happen? The actions of the security forces. The security forces have to remember them there for the people. The job with them there have to protect the people and within these communities. Additional training must be given to both the JDF and the JCF upon civilian rights. The population must also be educated on their rights so that they can know what them within them right to do and what they are not within their right to do. Talk to me, nation. Tell me what you think. Tell me you feel like a spark. Or see it take place. Whole heap of confrontations. You know what I mean? Whole heap of argument between the security force members and members of communities. What the issue? Some people that say at the lack of respect, whether you're an adult or a youth, it's almost like no respect is shown when an operation is taking place. It can't be so. Of course, you have a stern and firm you did at work. You know what I mean? But you have to also respect people too. And as I would say, in numerous situations, respect is always given to those who give respect. And of course, the people need the security forces. When crime and violence that take place in the community, who them gonna call? Of course, the security forces them gonna call. Of course, the people know say them need proper policing. How them gonna go about it, them know. But as I say, you remember we used to have the program when them go in the community them and talk with the people and the thing that come on live and people that see it on a national level. Maybe some more of that needs to be done. Where the people can share them issues directly with the people who are in a position to actually make changes to help out or change that situation. Not just going on TV and making some statements when the reporters pass through the community and then, you know what I mean, the people move on. Maybe directly having these people there, we can say it and issues can be brought forward and that can be something them address Otherwise, we see the situation what it is. As I said, if you see the community of our the division of Western Kingston engulfed in so much years of crime and violence, yo, it has show us a mindset of the people to need for change. You know what I mean? This mindset of reprisals and carrying on reprisals for months and then is not the way forward. These types of community versus community are even the same community within itself. Them thing I mash up the family. And remember, broken homes, broken families, broken community. People have to think about that. I make better decisions going forward. Youth, crime and violence, another way. Another way to wealth, and another way to financial freedom. And that is the truth. Make better decisions. When the parents are working hard for sending them to go to school for a reason, and so that we can find a better way out. We know them other options are there. But we are educate the people, educate the youth, so that they can make better decisions and find better ways and paths to financial freedom. And we can, in a situation where we can help out. Talk to me. And the reason again, the sentiments. You know what I mean? Stay tuned, subscribe, share, comment. You know what I mean? And the reason again, live, love, and prosper.